Good morning, students. Today we are going to start the third unit of production management, that is inventory management. Before starting this concept, first we have to understand what is inventory. In today's class, we will discuss the introductory part of inventory management and what are the costs associated with inventory. So first we will discuss what is inventory. Inventory, we can say, it is a material which is necessary for manufacturing a particular product. Means we can say the certain items which is necessary for manufacturing or for producing a particular product, that is known as inventory. Inventory is a material that firm obtain in advance of needs, holds until it is needed, and then uses, consumes, incorporate into product and sell it. Means inventory are the materials which is necessary for production. Means inventory are the materials which firm obtain or procure before the requirement. Means before the production start, the organization of the firm procures certain items, and after procuring, the firm store it in its warehouses. Whenever there is a requirement, the farm uses these items, the farm consumes these items, or by consuming these items, farm manufactures a certain product, farm manufactures a unique product, and after that, the farm sell it to the consumers. So, whatever the items or whatever the materials which is necessary for producing a particular product, we can say that item are inventory. That items are inventory. While discussing the concept of material management, I told you that there are two types of material, that is direct material and indirect material. Generally, direct materials are the material which is required for manufacturing a particular product. Means direct materials are the material generally organization directly fed these things to the machine for manufacturing certain product. And there are certain indirect materials. Indirect materials are the supportive materials which is necessary for production. They uh, directly doesn't contribute anything for producing a particular product, but they support the manufacturing process, they support the production process. So there are two type of material, that is direct material and indirect material. So both materials are necessary for manufacturing a particular product. Both these materials come under the preview of inventory. Means direct material as well as indirect material comes under the area of inventory. Inventory, we can say that the material which is necessary for manufacturing a particular product, whether the materials are direct or indirect, whether the materials directly contribute to manufacturing a particular product or the materials support the manufacturing process, whatever the items which is necessary for manufacturing a particular product, that comes under the area of, or that comes under the definition of inventory. So we can say that inventory is a material which is necessary for manufacturing a particular product. In our second unit, we discussed in detail the concept of material management, and in third unit we are going to discuss the detailed concept of inventory management. I told you that inventory is a type of material, and in second unit we also discussed detailed concept of material. Let me clear you what are the differences exist between inventory and material. Generally, material means the raw material which is necessary for manufacturing a particular product. In our second unit, we discussed detail about the management part of material, management part of raw materials. Means at what price the organization should have to procure the items, from whom the organization should have to procure the items, at what price, what type of materials, what type of raw materials the purchase department should have to procure. About these things we discussed in our second unit. In our third unit, we are going to discuss the total aspects of manufacturing process. Means for manufacturing a particular product, raw material is necessary, but apart from raw material, there are certain items which is very much necessary for manufacturing a particular product. So the only difference exists between the material and inventory is that material is a part of inventory and inventory is a broader aspect, means there are number of items comes under the area of inventory, that is raw material, work in progress, finished goods, spare parts, and other stocks. Means whatever the items which is necessary for manufacturing a particular product, that comes under the area of inventory. So we can say inventory is a broader perspective as compared to material. In inventory management, we are going to discuss in detail about the all aspects or all items which is necessary for manufacturing a particular product. Second unit is only related to one aspect of inventory, that is raw material. In second unit we discussed only the material aspects of inventory. In third unit we are going to discuss in detail about other aspects or other items of inventory. So what is the only difference exists between inventory and material? Inventory, we can say it is a broader perspective and number of items comes under inventory, like raw material, again work in progress, finished goods, spare parts, and other stocks. Means the direct material and indirect material comes under the area of inventory. And raw material is a narrow aspect. Raw material is only a part of inventory. So inventory, we can say it is a material or it is a type of item which is necessary for manufacturing a particular product. Generally these inventories farm procures before production starts and hold these items in warehouses, and after that whenever there is a requirement, the farm consumes these materials, and by using these things the farm manufactures a unique product, and after that the farm sells this unique product to the consumer. Generally the farm produces on a continuous basis, means throughout the year the farm manufactures certain products. Due to the ongoing process of operation, means within a farm there is a continuous process of operation, farm has to run throughout the year. So due to the effect of this ongoing process of operation, farm has to invest some amount in inventory, means the farm has to operate on continuous basis. So for that reason farm requires certain inventory for meeting the demand for operation. So for that reason the farm invests some amount in inventory. And the items which is necessary for manufacturing a particular product, means the inventories having certain economic value, and the farm before production starts the farm procures these things and store it in its warehouses, and whenever there is a requirement farm uses these things and farm manufacture a unique product. And due to the ongoing effect of production process, or due to the effect of ongoing process of operation, the farm has to invest certain amount in inventory, means the farm has to keep certain some minimum inventory with it, so that without an interruption the farm's production process can be carried out. And the farm is required to invest some amount in inventory. So I told you that inventory is a broader perspective. Number of items comes under the area of inventory. So inventory includes raw material, work in progress, finished goods, spare parts, stocks, in order to meet an unexpected demand in future. Means for meeting the demand in future, whatever the items require, that comes under the area of inventory, and that items are known as inventory. Inventory means we cannot say a particular item. The raw material doesn't belongs to the concept of inventory. Inventory includes raw material as well as WIP, finished goods, spare parts, stocks, in order to meet the unanticipated demand that arises in future. So in inventory management, we are going to discuss about the management aspects of all these items. So this is all about the concept of inventory. Now comes to meaning of inventory. Inventory is defined by different author in different way. So there is only difference exists between inventory and raw material. Inventory and material is that material is the part of inventory, and under inventory there are number of items like raw material, WIP, finished goods, stock, and other spare parts. So inventory are the stock of any kind like fuel, lubricants, spare parts, semi-processed material to be stored for future use, mainly in the process of production. Means in the process of production, whatever the items necessary, that items is known as inventory. Inventory may be the raw materials, maybe the fuel, lubricant, oils, spare parts, and semi-finished means WIP and finished goods, which is required for meeting the demand, which is required for meeting the demand of the product, and which is required for meeting the production schedule. Means in the process of production, whatever the items is necessary, that items is known as inventory. And these items means the raw materials, work in progress, fuels, lubricants, spare parts, and other stocks. Generally these having an economical value, these having certain financial value. By consuming these things, farm can able to manufacture a unique product. There are some indirect material which may not be the part of finished product but comes under the preview of inventory. In inventory, not only the direct material comes but also the indirect materials, means the material which support the production process. Indirect materials are the material which doesn't directly contribute to the production of a particular product, but they support the production process, comes under the preview of inventory. Both direct material as well as indirect material comes under the preview of inventory. And there are different types of inventory. So inventory means what? Inventory means we can say these are the items which is necessary for producing a particular product, means which is necessary in the process of production. Inventory may be the raw materials, inventory may be the spare parts, WIP, finished goods, and whatever the items which is necessary for meeting the production schedule, that comes under the inventory. Again, there are different types of inventory. Generally, there are four types of inventory. First one is the production inventory, MRO inventory, in process inventory, finished goods inventory. So there are different types of inventory. Let me discuss various types of inventory in detail one by one. First one is the production inventory. The word itself says that production inventory means what? The inventory which is necessary for producing a particular product, means the raw materials, certain spare parts, and the components which is necessary for manufacturing a particular product. That inventory is known as production inventory. Raw materials, parts, and components which the farm uses in production process, means the items which is necessary for the producing a particular product, and the items which the farm uses in production process, that known as production inventory. These may consist of two types, means production inventory again are of two types. First one is the special item manufactured to company specification. According to the company's requirement, company manufactures different special products, different unique products, and for manufacturing these unique products, organization also uses certain or some special components, some special parts, that comes under the type of production inventory. Again, standard industrial items, there are certain items or certain spare parts almost every company or almost every manufacturer uses for producing a particular product. The item which is necessary for producing a particular product, that comes under the area of production inventories. Next type of inventory is that MRO inventory. MRO means what? Maintenance, repair, and operating inventories. There are certain items which is necessary for producing a particular product, but supporting the production process, again there are certain items or certain materials is required, means for maintaining the machine, for repairing or operating the machines, or for supporting the production process, there are certain items, certain inventories required. That type of inventory is known as MRO inventory. Means the items, or we can say the tools, the oil, the lubricant oils, fuels, uh, uh, which is necessary for continuing or for running a machines, and which helps in production, which supports the production process. They doesn't directly contribute to manufacturing certain product, but they support the production process. These items or these inventories are known as MRO inventories. Maintenance, repair and operating supplies which are consumed in production process, but it is not part of the product. These items are not the part of the product, they support the production process. Means these items organization or manufacturer doesn't directly use for producing a particular product, but they support the production process. These are known as MRO inventories. Examples are oil, machinery, repair tools like some instruments, grease, oil and lubricants, brass. These are the supportive items which helps the production process and which helps the manufacturer to continue the production process without an interruption. Next type of inventories is that in process inventories. These are the semi-finished goods or semi-finished inventories. So after some times, means when the organization fed some materials or issued some materials to our machineries, after some time the organization got some, or the manufacturer got some semi-finished products or semi-finished goods that also having certain values, and by using these semi-finished or work in process goods, organization or the manufacturer produces the final goods or the finished goods. And semi-finished products also found at various stages in production process. These are the half finished goods, and by using these inventories, organization manufactures finished products. And last type of inventories is known as finished goods inventories. Finished goods inventories are completed product ready for shipment. These are the final product. These are the unique products, or these are the unique inventories the farm manufactures, and the farm ready to ship these goods to the market. So these are the various types of inventories. After that, we will discuss various costs that is associated with inventory. Now we are going to discuss various inventory costs. First one is the purchase cost. So there are number of inventory cost, means there are number of costs associated with inventory, that is purchase cost, ordering cost, holding cost, shortage cost and out of stock cost, inventory service cost, handling equipment cost and capacity cost. These are the various costs associated with inventory. Let me discuss various costs in detail. First one is the purchase cost. The word itself says that purchase cost means what? The word itself says that the cost arises or the cost incurs by purchasing or by buying certain items for manufacturing a particular product. Generally, this cost incurred when investor pays for an item that are purchased from the outsiders. Means for manufacturing certain item, the manufacturer is required to acquire some items from the supplier or vendor. So for acquiring or for purchasing required item, whatever the price the manufacturer, the farm is required to pay, or whatever the cost the organization incurred for procuring certain items for manufacturing certain product, these costs are known as purchase cost. This is usually a unit price the farm pay to its vendor. Means for purchasing a particular items or particular material, whatever the unit price the farm pays to the supplier or to the vendor, that cost or that expenses is known as purchase cost. The word itself says that the cost incurs by purchasing or by procuring certain items from the vendor or supplier. Next inventory cost is that ordering cost. The word also says that ordering cost is the cost or expenses which incurs for placing an order to the suppliers. Means when an organization or when an organization or when a firm identifies that it requires certain items, then the purchase department starts placing an order, or the purchase department starts developing a purchase order, and after that the purchase department place this order to the supplier. So procuring the items whatever the for procuring the items, the organization is required to place the order to the supplier. So for placing the order, whatever the expenses the firm incurred, that comes under this cost, that cost is known as ordering cost. So these are the expenses incurred to create and process an order to the supplier. This cost is necessary for determination of economic order quantity. Means for calculating the economic order quantity or economic lot size, ordering cost is necessary. Ordering cost means what? Ordering cost is the cost which incurred when the firm places an order to the supplier for procurement of certain items. Example of ordering cost are preparing a purchase order, means for developing or preparing a purchase order, whatever the cost incurs the firm, that comes under this cost. Again, processing payment means for making payment to the supplier, whatever the processing fees the firm incur or the bank charges to the firm, that cost comes under ordering cost. Receiving and inspecting the material and transportation cost means for procuring the items, whatever the transportation cost arises, that comes under ordering cost. And receiving and inspecting the material, when the firm places an order to the supplier, generally the supplier after some time the supplier supplies the items. So after getting or after receiving the items, the organization is required to inspect the quality of the items. So for that reason the firm takes the help of other purchase department takes the help of chemist and quality control engineer. So for that reason the firm is required to pay certain amount to these personnel. So whatever the cost associated for receiving and inspecting the material, that comes under ordering cost. Next is holding cost. So second one is ordering cost. Ordering cost means what? For placing an order to the supplier, whatever expenses the firm incurs, that comes under this cost. Generally the cost starts from developing a purchase order to receiving and inspecting the material, whatever the cost associated or whatever the cost incurred, that comes under ordering cost. Next one is the holding cost. Holding cost means what? Generally the cost incurs when the firm holds certain inventory in its warehouses. These costs occur due to the actual holding of an inventory over a time period. Means before the production start, the organization or the firm required to procure certain items, and the firm required to store these in its storehouses. So for holding such inventory, for storing this inventory, whatever the cost arises, that known as holding cost. Generally storing generally for storing an items or storing certain inventories, organization of the farm required to pay the rent of warehouses, the farm required to pay the salary to the storekeepers, and the farm is required to pay certain amount to other personnel who maintain the records of the storehouses. These cost comes under the holding cost. Again, there are various types of holding cost, like storage cost, service cost, risk cost, and capital cost. These are the holding cost, and these costs associated with holding of actual inventories in warehouses. Let me discuss various holding cost in detail. First one is the storage cost. First cost is the storage cost. Means for storing the actual inventory, whatever the cost the organization of the farm incurs, that cost is known as storage cost. Means for keeping the inventory or storing the inventory, farm is required to pay the warehouses rent. The farm is required to pay the electricity bill of the warehouses. These cost comes under storage cost. Next one is the service cost. Means for getting certain service, the farm has to incur certain cost, that is known as service cost. Means the farm stores certain items in its storehouses. So for the safety of the items or safety of the inventory, so safety of the items or inventory, farm sometimes make an insurance. So for making an insurance, the farm is required to pay certain amount to the insurance company, so that the goods may be protected from any hazardous condition. So for getting any service, or getting the compensation in case of any accidents, whatever the cost the organization incurs, that comes under the holding cost. Again, that comes under the service cost. Next one is the risk cost. Risk cost is generally the financial cost that is associated with the inventory. Means when an organization, when a farm stores certain items in warehouses, there are many chances of losing the value of the items. Means there may be a chances of fire, and the items may be damaged due to certain unavoidable conditions, certain problems. The items may be stolen or damaged, or the items may be deteriorated or obsolete after some period of time. But the farm incurs certain costs for procuring these items, and the farm are not in a condition to use these items. So whatever the cost incurs, means whatever the value the farm lost due to this unavoidable condition, that cost comes under risk cost. Next one is the capital cost. Capital cost is the monetary cost. Means for procuring or for purchasing certain items, the farm is required to borrow certain money from certain financial institutions, or from some money lenders. So for that reason, the farm is required to pay certain interest or some amount of interest on procured items. Procured capitals. So whatever the interest the farm pays due to borrowing the amount for procuring the items, that cost is known as capital cost. So these are the holding cost. Means these costs associated with holding of actual inventory in warehouses. Next one is the shortage cost or out of stock cost. Holding costs are the cost which incurs due to holding of certain inventories in warehouses. But the shortage cost is the reverse of holding cost. Shortage cost arises due to not having enough inventory in storehouses or in warehouses. Generally, holding cost arises due to holding number of items in inventory, but shortage cost arises due to not having enough inventory at right place at right time. Means if the farm doesn't have enough inventory in its warehouses, then the farm incurs certain cost. Means if the farm doesn't have enough inventory, and if the farm get sudden high demand, so for meeting the demand, the farm is required to procure various items wherever it is available, or at what price it is available. The farm is required to procure these items, procure the materials. So for that reason, organization of the farm incurs certain extra cost that comes under shortage cost, and that cost arises due to not having enough inventory in warehouses. Again, there are two types of shortage cost, that is backorder cost and lost sale cost. So these are the two costs that is associated with shortage cost. And what is backorder cost, what is lost sale cost, and what are the other costs associated with inventory, we will discuss in our next class in detail. So this is all about today's class. Thank you.